Story number one, getting a clear view of the refugee crisis across the world. Now the key word I use is across the world. If you haven't been keeping an eye on Syria, Mexico, Venezuela, a lot of countries, even in Israel, border nations are having problems, and they're having an influx of refugees migrating into their country or trying to seek asylum or just trying to find a better way to live. Now the reason why this story surfaced in into the top 8 is because it homes in on the problem that will not go away, and that's how do you stop mass migration from immigrants trying to seek refuge into other countries. Now what makes this story interesting is the fact that Trump has been able, you look at his administration and you look at his stance on immigration, he has been able to find some type of way by using what they call not making it as comfortable as it used to be, by discouraging other migrants from coming into the United States. Now, what he's done is not what they call he hasn't had a lot of empathy because of what's happening within this story. Now, what we're talking about is in Trump's immigration crackdown, he has forced 16,000 children, including 500 babies, to wait for weeks or months in Mexico for asylum hearings. Not only that, but there was a story that surfaced about how ICE moved 700 women out of a detention center, and they won't tell lawyers where they are, according to this report. So this means that Trump has, if you look at him and the way he's handling his immigration policies in general. This is why this story is in the top 8, and it could gain some steam, because the immigration issue it kind of trickled out of the news for a few. It was still in the news, but it wasn't making top headlines. But the reason why this story is heating up, and it doesn't look to be going anywhere anytime soon, is the fact that the president's stand, his administration, they're saying is responsible for the sickening of children. But with the other side, like I said, this is the Mediator, so I choose to stay in the middle to hear from both sides. I have to make it fair. But what the Trump side is saying, the right, the conservative media, they're saying that this is the way to do it because we don't have the money nor the resources to be able to accommodate illegal or people seeking asylum, when we don't even have enough money to feed our veterans and the people in this country. So if these allegations are true, then story number one will drift to the right, especially when we look into the presidential debate, because people will start to listen to these comments and they will start to lose lack of consideration for what these people are going through or why they're seeking asylum. The thing that makes this story even more gives it more weight and more steam is you look at Trump's stance on Syria. Now, people think that the U.S. is actually leaving Syria, but there's still 1,000 troops there, according to the Secretary of Defense. So what they're saying is that because of us leaving there, that people are now migrating. More people, over 100,000 something, are now migrating out of Syria. So you will see this story. Getting an understanding of why story number one is in the top 8 is not only pivotal, but it gives you the I think the motivation to do your own research. These stories are all on the website, and which I will mention here shortly. But this story number one has all of the substance to stay alive. Trump is also ending U.S. role as worldwide refugee leader, refugee asylum leader. So this is big news, because if you lose that worldwide standing in allowing refugees or people who are suffering into your country, that's a big thing, because these people they do have something to offer. They want to work. They may have skills. They may have less to lose. So this is a big story because it could change the outlook on America. And if you discourage people from entering the country, it may have a ripple effect where it may it may fall into the advantage of the people here. You know, there may be more jobs, there may be more better laws. So we don't know how this is going to turn out. Federal judge says that Trump uses emergency funds to build a wall. He said that it's unlawful. There's also some stories that surfaced in. Federal judge in New York blocked Trump's public charge rule on green cards. So Trump is not only changing the game, but he's trying to charge people who can't even afford their own and live in their own countries. They're trying to charge them for a place within this country, the wealthiest nation on earth. So this story is not only going to change people's stance on Trump, especially humanitarian aids, Christian activist groups, ministries. It's going to change people's view of not only this president but the Washington in general. If they do an about face on those who are seeking asylum and those who are seeking refuge in a better way of living, because a lot of people came to America to get a better life, except for you, as you know, slaves or most of either my ancestors or African Americans. So this story has all of what it needs. It has all the talking points to be a bigger story. And there's also some other thing that they're talking about how some migrants are even talking about how they're being raped, tortured. So this, when you look at this story, these are human beings. And this is what makes this story so big, because the story, when you're talking about human beings, it's almost saying that when somebody has all the chips in the pot and somebody who has no chips in the pot, how do you make it fair for those people who have no chips into the pot? Do you give them an opportunity to have more chips? Do you give them some type of a stable environment? So that's why story number one, I see it. It's got all the ability to stay in the news. It's a good debating topic. It's got all of that. I mean, it's got everything in it to keep people to understand what is actually happening with the refugee crisis. It is keeping this topic alive, because this is a serious topic. It's involving children. It's involving parents. It is involving politics. Another story that surfaced in: providing health insurance to illegal immigrants could cost up to $23 billion a year. Now, this is why this story is rooted in humanitarian aid, sympathy, empathy, and what do you do when people have no place to go and their country is just war torn, especially when you've been giving them aid, when you've been trying to get them the assistance that they need. U.S. arrests nearly 1 million migrants at the border in the past 12 months. So on each side, some of the weight is going to the right, where they're saying that threatening and making it harder for illegals to get into the country is basically decreasing the amount of immigrants trying to get here. And then some sides are saying, like, hey, we need to help these people. The world is getting crazier and crazier. So that's why this story, it's definitely a hot topic. Woman stole money from immigrants seeking visas and citizenship. So this is not only getting brutal, but it's giving criminals to justification to have justification to do what they're saying that they're doing. They're committing crimes against people. They're not only beating up on people who have nothing, but they are actually stealing their visas and stealing their path to citizenship. So you see this story for all it is, and it's changing the game. It's getting people talking, and it's getting people to understand. There was even an interview with I think it was an old interview I came across on a National Public Radio from 1992, where an Indian was talking about the treatment of the natives. So this story, we have Columbus Day tomorrow. So today when these shows are released, and that's what makes this topic so big, is because it homes in on key issues. And who knows where we will see a lot of this going, especially as the flu season rolls around. These children don't have the medicines. They don't have the nourishments. So they're even saying how some women are breastfeeding, and they can't breastfeed because they're dehydrated. They're talking about how they're smashing up food and feeding their babies. This is a scary, scary topic, scary story. And it's in the top 8 for a reason. It's got to stay alive, and it's got to get people's attention. And I hope I'm doing everything I can to show you how powerful this story can become and why it needs to be looked at as a serious topic, and why this administration may want to change its stance on immigration. Where will the world go if the people in power aren't willing to lend a helping hand or try to find something that can solve this problem? And that's why this story is the way it is. You're the Mediator with me, Brian Westward. It's my duty every week to give you the top 8 headlines developing news stories. If you want to be a contributor, help out anyway. Doesn't take much. All you have to do is visit www.method8inc.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. You can also check out the stories that almost made it and the stories that did make it in. They're all on the website for your own review. You may have your own radio show, your own talk forum online, social networks, whatever it is. If you're looking for what's actually happening, what stories are being talked about, what stories are trending, this may be the spot for you. So if you want to be a contributor, I constantly remind my audience that I'm just a mediator, staying in the middle, navigating from the right to the left. The news journalists, the people on the front lines, they deserve most of the credit. I just do the dirty work, trying to figure out which stories have all of the potential to stay alive and to keep people informed. Which stories are important. So if you want to be a contributor, it doesn't take much. METHOD, the number 8, INC.com, method80.com, where you can buy something, click on something, watch something, read something, or just sponsor a program. Every little bit counts.
If you need help, then dial your operator.
Have no fear, fellow citizens. The Mediator is here.